Okay, so now that we understand how to use loops using the for loop and using the while loop, let's look at the idea of an infinite loop. So there are instances where I want a loop that does not initially terminate or come to an end. And so that is referred to as an infinite loop. Now you might be asking yourself, why would I need such a thing? Well, it turns out that it's quite common that we want our program to keep running and only be able to exit that program when some condition is met. So let's look at the syntax. When I use the for loop and I want to create a loop that does not have an initial test to say when it should end, and it does not have an increment, we simply put 2 semicolons, okay, which simply means that none of the 3 pieces are being used. Okay, so there is no box being created, right? So we're not initializing something like I, we're not testing, and we're not incrementing. Okay, so this is how you create an infinite loop. So if I have something like this, where I have the cout hello action, a statement, then what will happen is that this program will continuously print hello, and it will not stop. All right? It will not stop. If we extend this, I could have a program that continuously asks the user to enter a number. So the prompt, create the variable, store it. And again, we go right back and we do the same thing. So these 3 steps will be continuously done forever. And this program will simply not terminate. So whenever you're using an infinite loop, there tends to, or you need a way to eventually terminate this loop. Okay, and so to do that, we're provided with the break keyword or the break command. So what I can do is, after I have received the input, I can then provide a test, such as if the input that is provided is the same as -1, then I want to do something like say goodbye and then break. What this break does is to terminate this for loop. So it leaves the for loop. Okay, so that's the way how we get to exit from an infinite loop, by using the break keyword. Now, if we wanted to do this using the while loop, then all we have to do is to say while and then 1. And that's it. Okay. There's another version of the while loop where instead of using 1, we use true. Okay. So true and 1 can be used interchangeably with the while loop. So why is it that we're using true? Well, by stating that the condition is always true, then the program will never end. Because remember, once something is true, once the test is true in a loop, we continue executing what is in the body. And that's what the true means. And also the 1. Since 1 means true. Okay. All right, so that's it for the theory when it comes to how to create a loop that never ends initially, that never ends. And we refer to that as an infinite loop. It's quite a common thing in programming. However, the key thing to notice is we have to provide a way to eventually break out of the loop, to eventually exit from the loop, to eventually terminate the loop. And to do that, we use the break statement as the last thing. Okay? Now, I'll see you in the next lesson where we actually go to Visual Studio Code and we write a short program to demonstrate what we have talked about. I'll see you then.